Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. Strangle your demons and let's go.
Y'all need Jesus!
The sheep drove his Cadillac. He went cruising down the Ville. The muzzin was a standing on the radiator grill. Sharif don't like it, oh yeah. Rock the Casbah, rockin' the Casbah. Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. I am your host, Eric Hellberg, and you know we're like Einstein over here, man. We have no special talents. We're just passionately curious about all things pertaining to men. How in the hell did we get here? And where is it that we want to go? Yeah, man, rocking the Casbah, man. The Sheik is pissed. He don't like rock and roll. He ain't like Joan Jett. I love rock and roll. That bothers the Sheik. That bothers those folks in the Muslim world. They'd rather hear, okay, we got it. There's a subtle difference there. We got electric guitars. We've got the most, as Barack Obama said, we'll call him Barry Soetoro. The Muslim call to prayer is the most beautiful sound in the world. Here's my question. If Muslims don't like that good old rock and roll, man, Elvis would be mad, wouldn't he? Of course, John Lennon said before Elvis, there was nothing. Okay. If they hate pork, they hate beer, they hate dogs, they hate bikinis, they hate Jesus, they hate freedom of speech, why are they coming to countries that espouse those things and believe in those things, and that is part of the culture? Do they want to supersede the culture? Do they want to rule the culture? Do they want to change the culture? Do any Christian missionaries go into any other part of the world to evangelize and then try to change the people and or their culture? No. Do they attempt to embolden the soul and to save a soul by gentle nurturing, meaning we learn, we study. Should you grab hold, that is a beautiful thing, because Christ even acknowledges, right? The one lost soul, the one lost sheep that comes to the faith is a great victory. But a Christian missionary does not go anywhere and try to change it. There is an entitlement in that Islamic way, and it's seemingly pervasive in all these Western countries. I mean, you good Muslims could simply stay in place with people that look like you, sound like you, do what you do. No problem, right? And you could become more pious and more adherent to your practices. But you want to go somewhere that is diametrically different and change it to fit you. That word entitlement. It actually comes from a demonic spirit. Just like when we did an episode on the N-word and we said narcissist, right? Well, here, let's back up before we touch on that a little bit. We know that Hunter Biden was found guilty. And everyone thinks that's a big story. I don't really think it's a big story. You know how it really was achieved without much fanfare? I mean, it kind of came and went really quick. We were so worried that we were going to see, and remember I did an episode called Man in the Box? That's how we feel. We feel like we're in a box. That's why I'm saying what the average American feels. We have freedom of speech that they are attempting to silence. But I am going to say what the average man believes and feels. And there is nothing wrong with that. But we were aghast at the possibility that this man could get off. And really what I think we witnessed, it was so cut and dry, it's already going away. All right, we have another convicted felon rap. Convicted felon rap placed upon Hunter Biden just like we have on President Trump. And that's supposed to equivocate everything, level the playing field. No, that was what we call a scapegoating. We could have went so much deeper. And I believe that verdict was found expeditiously solely because what President Joe really does not want to have happen is further digging. There is no longer anything to see here. We will sacrifice our son. And no, you are not Abraham, Joe. And no, Hunter is not Isaac. These were pious, righteous people following their faith and following the word of the Lord. Therefore, they were going to take it to the utmost until God called them back. But you, Joe, will sacrifice your son. You, Joe, will do it because you are entitled. And you have been entitled ever since you entered the public sphere. And dare I say, demonic, because you, Joe, are a narcissist. And you know that further uncovering, since we now know everything about that laptop is unequivocally true, and it was, and should it have come out before, you could not have maintained Obama's legacy. You could not have been a puppet for him to further corrupt us, destroy us in his world-loving and probably Islamic-loving tradition. And if we keep pressing, we will know how many tens of billions of dollars that you have washed into your pockets via Hunter and your brother and defrauded the American people and sold us out. So he needed to become guilty, and guilty fast. So you achieved that. So let's tie all three of these attributes, people, and or groups together. And we're going to talk about Hunter. We're going to talk about Joe. We're going to talk about Islam. They are all entitled and demonic and therefore narcissistic. Because a narcissist wants everyone to bend to them. If it is a demonic, narcissistic system, it wants everything subverted to them. They believe their way is the only way, therefore they should be served. And have you ever noticed, here's another great litmus test, although I did 2 episodes on the N-word. If you are truly dealing with an emboldened, demonic, narcissistic spirit, that person, meaning Joe Biden, that group, meaning Muslims, will continue unabated. They will seemingly flourish. They will gain significance and prominence while everyone that they interface with around them, in the case of a Joe, all the family members, all the loved ones, they end up going crazy. Look at Islamic practices when brought to a place that is not Islamic. Everyone around them gets shut down. They are stymied and they all start going crazy. The narcissist, when we are talking about a soul individual, keeps moving about, oftentimes with great adulation and fanfare. They think that he is wonderful on the outside. But all the people around them end up in therapy wondering if they are friggin' nuts. That's how you know that you are dealing with a demonic, narcissistic spirit. And the average American, when dealing with this Islamic bullshit, starts to wonder if they are crazy, if they oppose it. And it is a narcissist made, born, what? No. In the case of Hunter Biden, he was unduly made. I'm sure he was neglected. Why? Joe was chasing everything that he desired in this world. Or he was extremely coddled, and in a substitute for real love, real attention, real affection, he was just simply given everything that he wanted. And now you see the offspring. You see the offshoot of that. A totally depraved man running about and acting as he is. So no, the story is not in the whores. The story is not in the crack cocaine, the hookers, the cross-country trips between New York and Los Angeles, spending millions of dollars with girls that he recruited off of websites. But all the while he did that, he wasn't paying child support to his one wife. And in accordance with that, too, he was also sleeping with Bo. You've heard about the champion's son, Bo, who was deceased, not in warfare, but from cancer. So once he passed away, well, we know Hunter was hooking up with her, too. I mean, you were talking about unbelievable travesties, unbelievable disorganized chaos that is the result of narcissistic parents. And therefore, another narcissist was born, meaning Hunter Biden. They are made. It is called abject failure in parenting. And when the Islamic system is forced upon an American and or in another Western country, the same thing occurs. We are no longer going to bend. We are no longer going to accommodate. I have no problem with this. If we are going to bring people in from all around the world, there are going to be quotas, and there is going to be a rationale for doing so. Meaning, you are going to, Congress, this is you are going to go before the American people, and you are going to say, for this reason and this reason alone, we need immigrants from this country and this country to fulfill this need in America. And we are going to bring this many of this group in legally. And then you know what's going to happen? You are going to come to this country just like us if we went anywhere else in the world, and you are going to assimilate and become a fabric of that nation and uphold its values and its traditions. If you cannot do that, and or if you dupe us and you get here and are not doing that, your ass is going home. I do not have to accommodate, do I have to believe, nor do I have to support your beliefs. But if you have checked all those boxes and you get here, I can respect your right to have those beliefs. But I do not have to respect your right to try to exercise them over me. And I am here to tell you from this point forward, and that does not matter what group you are in currently here in the United States of America. It could be based upon skin color. It can be based upon the alphabet LGBTQ, FYZ, Ice Cube Maker D. I don't give a flying you know what. But if you try to impugn me or try to impugn my family, we are going to take a stand and we are going to have a fight about it. And you will be exposed. All right. We got that out of the way. Let's go to another group of immigrants, shall we? Let's go to another group of immigrants. I think in my last episode, I was going at, not at breakneck speed, but kind of methodically plotting through the material, and I forgot to go through our exposure of the Epstein's Island's visitors. We'll call them immigrants to Epstein's Island, and instead of that's a form of immigration, right? We're developing fine young Marines to go fight for us around the world. So what do? We send them through Paris Island. What I meant to say is, instead of Ellis Island, these fine folks took the Lolitas Express. And they ended up as immigrants onto Epstein's Islands. And I think we left off with the bees. And remember, I punctuated it with good old Barry Soetoro, Barack Hussein Obama. Let's stick with the bees. We said the 10 to 15 each episode, which I was negligent of, last until we go through the list in its entirety. All right, here's another one for you. Ben Affleck. Oh, yeah, nice actor, I tell you. Fine young man, good old Ben Affleck. But we know in order to rise up to the level, and he produces a lot of his movies, to rise up to those levels, you got to get with those young girls on Epstein's Island. You got to pinch Ghislaine's ass, and of course you got to put your arm around Jeffrey, okay? How about Bernie Sanders? Does that one surprise you? Beyonce. Oh, yeah, baby. We got Beyonce. We got, of course, Jay-Z. I'm sure they've been diddling with Diddy. They're trying to absolve themselves of that and create a distance at this time. But we know they're involved. Of course, Slick Willie's in the B. Everything is alphabetized according to first names here. Billy Bob Gates, my gosh, he's looked like a little boy caught in the crosshairs when asked questions about Epstein. He just said, we just had lunch together, and I think it was a mistake. Well, Melinda thinks different, Billy Bob. Okay, Bill. How about Bob Saget? Remember that America's Funniest Home Videos? He's now deceased. Bruce Willis. I do not know how the Lord works. His ways are infinitely more intelligent than ours. We already discussed, I quoted scripture, how the ways of the world are going to be shown to be dumb. But I wonder if he has some profound regrets. I wonder if the amount of stress brought on with maybe some of his activities of daily living on Epstein's Island or mental framework are what led to where he is currently now. Casey Wasserman, we're moving into the C's. I don't know who that is, but I think noteworthy. Celine Dion, oh yeah. The epitome of female music, good old Celine Dion. Charles Barkley, Charlie Sheen, that shouldn't surprise us, of course. Charlize Theron. Yeah, we have to mention Charlize. I mean, she's everyone's superhero, right? I think that'll do it for Epstein's Island's visitors today. So let's move into the clean. We already discussed the unclean. Our sponsor, OldCountrySoap.com, American-made soap in Burbank, South Dakota. Their owner, Elon, will correspond with you readily. We know that it is hand-cut soap that is cured for a month after it is cut. It is infused with essential oils. Of course, the composition is coconut oil, bentonite clay, great for skin conditions such as acne, psoriasis, eczema. They also will provide you with laundry soap. You don't just have to buy the 5-ounce bars. And it comes with its own oscillator, per se, in the Silo fiber bags where you insert the soap and you lather everything up. You can use it as shampoo. It just fits and you will get a clean like you never dreamed. So go check them out, oldcountrysoap.com. Old is spelled O-L-D-E. And use our promo code, CHAOS20. for 20% off. We have so many things we're going to be bringing to you, men, here in the upcoming days. I mean, the possibilities are infinite. What I am going to leave you with today is that if you were still supporting Joe Biden and or the Democratic Party, it is exactly like Dr. Michael Savage used to say. Liberalism is a mental disorder. Get you some of this soap, scour your head, and get back into rightful thinking. So until next time on the Comfortable in Chaos podcast, I bid you bon voyage, my burgeoning flock.
Until next time, like and subscribe